my Malcolm family? Welcome to our Malcolm Make a Culture Move podcast, where we cover everything from intense social topics to funny social trends. We are your hosts, Mark Jonathan.
Tabitha.
G.
Yes, indeed. And as always, we have funny and interesting topics for you all today. Before we get started, if we can have our brief disclaimer.
So just, this disclaimer, right? We cover a lot of controversial topics that do not represent Malcolm as a whole. So as we dive into our podcast, we would love for you guys to keep that in mind as you tune into our podcast. Oh, and happy Friday.
Black Friday. Hopefully y'all stay safe. COVID is still out here, y'all, so I really hope y'all wasn't out here just wilding out. But with that being said, I will be your first segment today. And I got a few light topics for us, nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Actually, my second one will be crazy. I forgot about that. So we have our first, as Tabitha mentioned, we have Black Friday today. And I am encouraging you all to shop Black owned as much as you can. If you can get into the
said happy Fro Friday. She didn't say Black Friday. She said Fro Friday. It's always about the fro here on Mac.
My internet is like Black Friday, but like I said, not Tabitha. Like I said, yes, we are encouraging you all to please shop Black owned. There's a few Black like Scott's markets and things like that we can do. We're trying to not basically give our money and resources away to bet you already skipped through this ad. You can go ahead and play the video. But yes, the video will get more into the movement, but we're always encouraging our people to shop within ourselves and keep our dollars circulating within ourselves. So yes.
I have a feeling there's an advertisement. We do not condone nor support or endorse this advertisement.
Hey, girl. Oh, yeah.
If you want to mute it real quick. The paragraph right below this video says, due to the coronavirus pandemic, 41% of Black-owned businesses have permanently closed compared to 17% of the white-owned businesses. So we've already been through some of those statistics ourselves in past podcasts, but it is definitely, ever since the coronavirus, has been a huge pandemic on our businesses as well. So this will get into more, but.
Okay. So let me unmute this.
Rapper Wyclef Jean wrote that jingle for Google to convince people to shop at businesses owned by Black Americans this Black Friday, or as he's calling it, Black Owned Friday. The pandemic is hitting Black business owners particularly hard. One economic research group says more than half may be forced to close by April without federal help. Well, we spoke to Wyclef Jean about his campaign and met two business owners who say they need a holiday boost just to stay open.
Wyclef Jean is known for making hits, but he's also known for giving a helping hand. After 9/11, he used his voice to pay tribute and raise money for families who lost loved ones. And after the 2010 earthquake in Haiti, Jean used his gift once again to help and to heal. Today, he's urging people to shop Black on Black Friday.
Talk about this and why you decided that this was something you wanted to be attached to.
Well, for me, coming from Haiti, my parents came here. They were middle-class, hard-working people. And my father, not only was he a minister, he also was a tailor. So for me, it was important to step up on the right side of history. If you invest in Black-owned businesses, you really, really are helping these families directly.
It's part of the reason why he partnered with Google.
You could go to Google Maps and just type in Black-owned businesses in the area that you're in, whether for restaurants or anything that you're looking for, and it will definitely pop up.
According to the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research, the pandemic forced 41% of Black businesses to close their doors for good. That's compared to only 17% of white-owned businesses.
Make sure that this is not just a Buy Black Day, but this is really a movement so that it has some long-term sustainability.
Ron
You can
Buzz,
stop it whenever.
nonprofit U.S. Black Chambers Incorporated.
But yes, I'm just looking at the percentage difference. Like we're looking at about, what is that, 24? So, yeah, 24% difference between the Black-owned businesses and white-owned. And it's as simple as looking up, a restaurant or stock market such in Google, and then using that and then staying and then circulating our dollars and keeping it within ourselves. But what do y'all think about that?
You can go ahead, G.
I think it's important. We should be shopping Black owned, it's just something that we need to make a move to. We need to normalize it. We need to it's something that needs to become normalized in the Black community. We shouldn't have to, when speaking to, one another, say, well, I'm going to this all Black owned restaurant, or I'm going to this Black owned beauty store, or I'm going to this Black owned whatever. It should just be, I'm going to the store. It should automatically be assumed it's Black owned. That's how normal it should become for our community. So I like it. It's dope. I respect Wycliffe for doing what he's doing and using his celebrity platform to support, locally and Black-owned businesses. That's what all celebrities should be doing with their platform. So much respect to Wycliffe for doing that.
I definitely think, and you made a lot of good points. We do need to normalize, going to businesses that look a lot like us. I don't know why, but we tend to lean towards or move towards going to businesses of people that don't look like us and keep circulating money within their families and creating general wealth for other people. But we never do that for our own people. And I think that's really sad. I know Akente Express is one of the few Black-owned businesses in Denver that I do go to, and every time I go in there, there's a bunch of people of color up in there supporting. He has he keeps business cards, flyers for other Black businesses. He has a Black book, and in this Black book is a list of different Black-owned businesses in the state of Colorado and specifically in Denver. So I think that that's a beautiful thing. I think that the East Side, before it got gentrified, and mind you, I was not here before it got gentrified, but I think that a lot of us would be better off and we would be a little bit more successful if we all supported one another, truly supported one another and kept money and flow, that financial flow in our community. We'll be doing better if we actually sustain that. So that's all I got to say about that.
Absolutely. I just want to say, I grew up on the East Side before it was gentrified in the 5 Points. And I can recall when it started to get gentrified. And I know for a fact, me and other Black people that I grew up with, we started feeling uncomfortable seeing white people out walking their dogs and walking with their children in the wagons and riding their bikes, just all comfortable in the hood. It was so uncomfortable for us. No, and then when the stores and the restaurants and all the retailers started to move into the East Side too, it really was no, this is not y'all's territory, this is not y'all's hood, go back to wherever it is you came from. And now they started moving Black people out and are taking over, and that's something that also needs to change. The hood needs to be taken back, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not here for it at all. 5 Points forever. I don't know what the Rhino District is.
Right. There you go.
East First, period. East First.
But if everybody's good, we can segue into the next topic.
Okay.
All right, and the next topic will be, so we also covered this in past podcasts as well, but we have ICE accused of performing unwilling procedures on some of the people that they have contained there. I believe the last time we covered this, it was a hysterectomy. That was performed on a Hispanic woman, I believe. And here we have the same, almost the same case. And you'll see in the video, she described as what happened to her as the equivalent of being raped. So this is definitely something. And a lot of people think like ICE doesn't have to depend or doesn't have to relate to our people. Immigrants aren't just Hispanic, for one. And Hispanics are part of our culture. You know, when I lived in the East Side, I seen Hispanics just as much as I saw my blacks, and they were experiencing the gentrification just as much, if not more than what we did. So I know the Swansea area, they all like basically moved over to there. Like I know I had friends that had to stop going to Cole because they had to move out of places and just some more stuff. But yeah, we can get back into the video itself.
Okay.
And I'll let you know when to stop it.
Okay. Did you want me to read the bottom part?
You can.
Okay. Migrant women say that they underwent unnecessary medical procedures at the ICE detention center. A group of migrant women are claiming doctors performed unnecessary medical procedures on them at the Georgia ICE detention center. CBS News corresponds, blah, blah, blah. We don't need all that. But yes, here we go.
Women is coming forward with claims that they were the victims of unwanted and unnecessary medical procedures at a federal detention center in Georgia. 22 women shared graphic stories in support of a lawsuit filed by court yesterday alleging poor treatment. Maria Villarreal shows us how many fear retaliation for speaking up. They say they're at risk of imminent deportation. And a warning, Maria, for some of our viewers, that the story and the description of what they're saying can be very disturbing and graphic. Good morning to you, though.
Good morning, Gail. That's exactly right. Immigration Customs Enforcement says that they deny all claims of retaliation, and they say that they did not speed up any deportation of these women. But this new complaint describes allegations of dozens of procedures that patients and also an independent team of doctors that was hired by lawyers and advocates say was medically unnecessary.
I think that we're immigrants. They believe that we should just be mistreated.
Yanita asked us to know only her first name because she's talking to us from inside the Irwin County Detention Center. In a new complaint declaration filed Thursday, she alleges Dr. Mahendra Amin improperly performed a transvaginal ultrasound after she had a hysterectomy. The pain was excruciating, her declaration reads, and felt like being raped. Have you been sexually assaulted before?
Yes. And it did bring up back.
The team of outside doctors who reviewed Anita's records, along with thousands of pages for other women treated by Dr. Amin, say there is a disturbing pattern of women pressured to have surgery that was not medically indicated and to which they did not consent. Dr. Maggie Moeller.
After this, Tabitha, please.
Procedures that carry risk.
Right here?
They require sedation, they require anesthesia in the operating room. And when you talk to these women, they really had no idea that they were going to have these procedures done.
So there is a concern from the
So I'll let one of my female co-hosts start this off. How do you all feel about this happening in the ICE facilities, and knowing that this is one of, I believe they said 22 cases that they recently found just in this penitentiary or facility alone?
I think it's crazy. And I totally agree with her. It's like being raped because, in a sense, like you have no choice in what's happening to you when you're being raped, molested, or sexually assaulted. These people had no choice in what happened to them. It kind of goes into like that whole white philosophy of, population control. By performing a hysterectomy on these people, they're unable to have children. And so, they're controlling the population of Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of goes back to that statement that you made earlier. When you go into your hoods and your projects and things like that, you often see, Blacks, Hispanics, and it's rare you see Native Americans. Their hood is totally different. They're isolated in a whole nother area, stricken in poverty. So I think that, they did this to us during slavery, and they're doing it to us now, and they're doing it to our sisters and brothers. And I think that us as a people, we need to step up and speak out about what's happening to our people.
It's frustrating to, even hear, it's painful to even hear knowing that, those women are going through that. They don't deserve that type of treatment at all. And it is like being raped, just because it's not a penis that's going inside of you and molesting you doesn't mean it's still not rape and molestation. So, my heart feels for them deeply, 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 because it's not fair and they don't deserve that treatment. And um I wish there was more that we could be doing when it comes to these situations. It's painful, and I'm a firm believer in you return violence with violence. You feel me? You rape, you rape, you need to know what that feels like. And those men, y'all need to know what that feels like. You need to have your balls cut off or something. I don't know. Something, but you inflicting that pain on somebody and you don't know what that feels like, you need to know what that pain feels like.
Most definitely. And I think just like the fact that it was all in hopes of having a better life just makes it that much worse. Like most of these people are coming across the border and hoping to find good working jobs and just stay out the way. And instead, they're met by nothing but pure hatred and supposed land of the free, but only incarceration. So that's just crazy to think about. But that's all for my segments. And then we will transition to Tabitha's. What you got for us today?
Oh, it's me. I did want to say though, the American dream can be a nightmare for some people. But yeah.
Yes, no, I kind of wanted to touch on that too, because it's kind of like, was what they're going through worse than what they're enduring right now? Like, I'm sure some of them probably think like, well, damn, maybe I should have stayed because it was bad, but it wasn't this bad. I wasn't being molested and raped. So it sucks thinking like to the foreigners out there, y'all, America is really not the greatest. So.
Right, and it ain't the land of the free.
Exactly. Okay, but transitioning to me, the first one, excuse me, the first segment that I have is Black Native Americans. We'll just go ahead and jump right into this article. In honor of the celebration of a massacre yesterday, yesterday was technically celebrating a massacre. That's what Thanksgiving is. For those of you who celebrate, it's a celebration of a massacre that took place and happened.
Okay, let me open up your article.
So Black Native American descendants fighting for the right to belong. Descendants of enslaved members of the Muskogee Creek Nation have been in a decade-long fight for recognition after they were told they could no longer call themselves members.
Look black to me.
Look black to me. When Rhonda Grayson was growing up in Oklahoma, summer visits to her grandparents' house in Wawoka meant time spent in the kitchen with her grandmother. Together, they cooked peach cobbler, traditional native foods like wild onions, poke salad, and hominy, and the corn used to make grits. Cooking was just one way Grayson learned about the rich history and culture of the generations of Black Native Americans who came before her. I was always keenly aware of my African ancestry, said Grayson, 51. Part of her lineage was native too. I always knew that we were Creek. One of those Black Creek ancestors was Grayson's great-grandmother, America Coe. Ironic. Coe was an original enrollee in the Muskogee Creek Nation for generations. Black Creeks like Coe had been a part of the tribe until one day they weren't. For more than 40 years, Black Creek descendants like Rhonda Grayson have been fighting to regain citizenship in the Creek tribe because their lineage also harks back to the dark days of chattel slavery. These would be These would-be members of the Creek Nation have been shut out. In a year marked by a historic uprising in support of Black lives, these Black Native Americans say now is the time to acknowledge their rights too. Okay, so we'll scroll down. We can
keep going.
Yeah. Okay. So about 24,000 Creek people were removed from the Trail of Tears. By 1860, the Creek Nation held 1,600 people in bondage. Historians estimate that by 1861, 8,000 to 10,000 Black people were enslaved by various tribes in Indian Territory. Slavery ended in the greater U.S. in 1865, but not in the Creek Nation until 1866. That year, the U.S. government signed a treaty freeing the tribe's enslaved people, now freed men, and giving them the right to a tribal citizenship. Despite the treaty, the question of freedom citizenship would be debated for a century and a half. In 1898, the U.S. government divided Creek lands and gave elements to each tribal member. Aiding that process were the Dow's rolls, which are created by the federal government to categorize Creek people by their blood quantum or as freedmen, people who have been enslaved or were descended from the formerly enslaved. But the Dawes system was flawed and it created a false binary between freedmen and blood citizens. Members were placed on the rolls based on how they looked, whom they associated with, and where they lived. Okay, so we can stop it there. And I do encourage everyone to look up this article and read it fully in yourselves. But Black people are Indians. Indians are Black people. We are Native. We all run together. We are cohesive. We are one. I want to make that point and throw it out there, whether you believe it or not. It is a fact, and we cannot argue facts. Okay, facts are facts. This article definitely gets into it. But it shows how, our people have always been separated. Okay, so they separated us. This is one of those instances and situations where we were separated from who we are. Being taken away from that native part, we lose that ancestry, but it doesn't mean that that's not a part of our culture and our history. And a lot of the times, because it's not talked about, we don't want to acknowledge it, but you can't ignore it. You just can't. I don't know. You just can't ignore it. And like at the beginning, they said like now is the time to make that acknowledgement. Now is the time. It's definitely the time to make that acknowledgement. It needs to be made known to all that we are cohesively one. So yeah, Mama, one of my co-facilitators, go ahead and do their thing with that.
So I have this book. It's called Black Indians. It was introduced to me by one of my leaders and stuff. But look at this picture of this Native American woman. She looks pretty Black to me. You know what I'm saying?
Like Black to me.
By American standards. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of our people talk about how like slavery stripped only our identity and stuff like that, but slavery also stripped the identities of Native Americans and Hispanics as well, because before African Americans were moved to this side of the earth, so-called Hispanic people, they were enslaved. Their language was stripped from them. They were in bondage. Their hands were being chopped off for going to go get food when they were actually starving and things like that. They were raped, beaten, tortured, murdered, lynched. No one talks about the lynching of Hispanic people or Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
In the so-called slave hut, especially in the southwestern countries, states such as Arizona, Blacks and Native Americans were in the shacks together. And guess what? When you in them things and when you shacked up together, you shacked up together. That's a fact. And so a lot of us actually do have Native American ancestry. I remember this Native American woman told me, she was like, us Native American women, we were giving ourselves abortions and stuff like that because we didn't want our kids to be birthed into slavery. But what our men did, they would have babies with Black women, and so a lot of us are Native American and we don't know it. So that's my take on that. Mark?
I mean, I guess my take on it would be, I mean, I personally have my nana's, I rest her soul, is Native American, and a lot of her side is also Native American. And then my father, well, doesn't know his father, but I got cousins that speak Spanish and like actual Spanish. I'm not that really close with them, but I still got
They
that.
exist.
Yeah, like I got that side of my family tree. So it gets to see like how we're all intertwined, but it's also horrible to see how we identify as a different struggle or like we don't relate to each other. When history and everything that aligns with it points to that fact that one, you know, we are the origin, we are the originators of everything, just from being black and melanated. So all races stem through us. I seen a video of a lady saying you can't make or you can't have a white people and then make a black baby, but you can have a black baby and make shade, and make or not black baby and have a black family and make shades. Y'all get what I'm trying to say.
But to speak on something that you said, Mark, I think something you said was very powerful because the way that this country works when it comes to, you know, mental warfare, physical warfare, any of that, is conquer and divide. You know what I'm saying? So they conquered us and then they divided us. We don't see the similarities between any of us. I just want to read a small little part out of this book. It says, the number of African Americans with an Indian ancestry was about 1/3 of the total. In Latin America, the percentage is much higher. So again, when I make that link in between Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like that Native ancestry and all that, it's all intertwined. We're all literally the same people going through the same struggle here in America. So
yes, we are. And with that, I will segue into my next one. I have this poem by Maya Angelou called The Black Family Pledge. I'm just going to read this, y'all. So,
okay. The Black Family Pledge.
I'm familiar. I love Maya Angelou.
Love her.
She is a talented woman.
And I like Hank Langston Hughes as well.
Love them.
In the comments, let us know if you would love to hear. You know, we like to do cultural days on our Fro Fridays. Let us know if y'all would like to hear some poetry, you know, movies, food, all types of stuff.
Whatever. Let us know what y'all want to see. Okay, so The Black Family Pledge by Maya Angelou. Because we have forgotten our ancestors, our children no longer give us honor. Because we have lost the path our ancestors cleared, kneeling in perilous undergrowth, our children cannot find their way. Because we have banished the God of our ancestors, our children cannot pray. Because the old wails of our ancestors have faded beyond our hearing, our children cannot hear us crying. Because we have abandoned our wisdom of mothering and fathering, our befuddled children give birth to children they neither want nor understand. Because we have forgotten how to love, the adversary is within our gates and holds us up to the mirror of the world, shouting, "Regard the loveless." Therefore, we pledge to bind ourselves to one another, to embrace our lowliest, to keep company with our loneliest, to endure our illiterate, to educate our illiterate, to feed our starving, to clothe our ragged, to do all good things, knowing that we are more than keepers of our brothers and sisters. We are our brothers and sisters. In honor of those who toiled and implored God with golden tongues, and in gratitude to the same God who brought us out of hopeless desolation, we make this pledge. So, that's it, yeah. I wanted to share that poem with you guys. One, in honor of the celebration of the massacre yesterday. You know, it's the tradition in America to celebrate a mass massacre that took place. And you know, the celebration has been turned into one where we celebrate family. And family is something that's very important. We talk about the Black community a lot, and the Black community is a family. It is a family. And speaking to our workshop that we had this week, you know, here at Macam, we are one big family with many different views and opinions and options. That's what family is. Nobody in a family all agrees on one thing, and is, you know, all on the same page all the time, but we still show up. You know, we show up together. We have the conversation. We take the steps necessary to improve and get better as a family. We don't do it as individuals, you know. We do it together as one family. And as Maya Angelou said in the poem, we are more than our brothers, the keepers of our brothers and sisters, but we are our brothers and sisters. We are each other. We are one. We are family. We are supposed to be fighting this fight together. You know, we're supposed to be fighting it together. And so if you joined our workshop, I just want to say thank you for joining and taking the steps to be a part of that fight. And thank you for, you know, being a part of our family. Whenever you do anything with Macam, you are a part of our family from that moment on. So in honor of family and in honor of Macam, I wanted to share that poem. But yeah, what's y'all's thoughts?
Powerful. It was powerful. I've seen a lot of stuff in there on a whole nother level, and I was just like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Like the what did she say? Can you go back into it real quick?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on, give me 1 second. Gotta open it back up. Uh-oh, I clicked another poem on accident. No. Anyway, to kind of segue into the part that she's gonna go into. Very powerful poem. If you guys have time, definitely go back through Maya Angelou's stuff. She's a very well educated, very well known poet. So
yes. Okay, so she says, because we have abandoned our wisdom of mothering and fathering, our befuddled children give birth to children they neither want nor understand. That right there speaks to our generation in whole. Okay, you can exit out of it, Tabitha. Thank you for going back into it. Which one? Because we have forgotten how to love, the adversary is within our gates and holds us up to the mirror of the world, shouting, regard the loveless. That's our generation as well. You know, like we lack the knowledge of knowing how to love, how to give love, how to receive love. So you know, that definitely speaks to our generation as well. And the one before with the lacking of mothering and fathering, you know, that's why we have this baby mama, baby daddy drama that everybody seems to glorify. You know, there's nothing cute about that. And that's why, you know, people are giving birth to children into these broken homes and families, and they're making it seem like it's okay to just be a baby mom, or it's okay to just be a baby dad. And no, it's not really. It's not. You know, we're supposed to be mothers and fathers. That's the goal, is to be a mother and a father to your family of children, to your flock, to your seeds, to your offspring, and bring them up and make them better than you and who you were and what your parents were and your parents' parents were. And not to just be a baby mom and a baby dad and have 3 baby moms and have 3 baby dads. Like, no, that's when we lose what's really supposed to be going on. So shout out to Maya Angelou for that poem. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
But to speak to that, not even just mother or father, but preferably husband and wife. You know, provide some functions. You feel me? Especially if you grew up around this function, you should want that function, and for your children to see, oh, this is how a man is supposed to act around his kids and his wife. Oh, this is how a woman is supposed to act around her husband and her children. So, you know, all that staying together, that's what's gonna help with that. You feel me? We offer breaking generational curses, and that's one of the curses that remain very heavy and relevant in today's society. And like G said, we glorify it. We glorify the idea of being toxic is cute to us. I definitely had that phase where I thought, you feel me? But now that I'm now that I'm thinking better, I'm trying to stay away from it. You feel me? But definitely.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Is that all you have for us today, G?
That's all I had. That's all I have for y'all.
Absolutely. So we can go ahead and segue into Tabitha's. What you got today?
All right. So, of course, I'm going to come a little bit more with the history portion of Thanksgiving, because a lot of times, and I love that. I love what G touched on, because it's a perfect segue, because I'm going to get, and what you touched on, because I'm going to talk about the history of Thanksgiving, and I'm going to talk about the history of Black Friday. So we're going to get into it. And I honestly don't think that we should be celebrating either one. I don't celebrate either one. It's not convenient. So I'm going to get into this first article. And it goes, the title of it is, if I can get up here. Okay, so it says, what does Thanksgiving mean to Native Americans? So it goes over like a brief history of what it means. Again, these look like Black people to me. But going down, it says Thanksgiving is a day of mourning for some Native tribes. It's important to know that for many Native Americans, Thanksgiving is a day of mourning and protest, since it commemorates the arrival of settlers in North America and the centuries of oppression and genocide that followed. For the last 51 years, the United American Indians of New England have organized a rally and a day of mourning on Thanksgiving. That's what they have to say about this choice to mourn. Thanksgiving Day is a reminder of the genocide of millions of Native people, the theft of Native lands, and the relentless assault on Native culture. Participants in National Day of Mourning honor Native ancestors and the struggles of Native peoples to survive today. It is a day of remembrance and spiritual connection, as well as a protest of racism and oppression which Native Americans continue to experience. Some Native Americans mourn publicly and openly, while some simply refrain from participating in this national holiday. Thanksgiving is already a way of life for Native Americans. While some Native Americans have chosen to reject the Thanksgiving holiday entirely, many embrace the positive messages of the holiday and choose to put aside thoughts about the complex history of this day. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I know people, I'm going to stop right there. But I know people, like, for instance, for us, we celebrate Black History Month, but we know that Black history is every day. It's not just a day that you could just put into 1 month, when we suffer and we've gone through stuff in this country for hundreds and hundreds of years, 400 years, and you give us 30 days, the shortest day of the month. I think it's like 29 days even. 28 days. You give us the shortest month of the year, so that we could recognize our history and recognize the trauma that's been inflicted on us from generation to generation. But that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot put so much history in one day and then just be like, oh, this is what it is, when in fact it's actually what it's not. So yes.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, I just kind of wanted to. Oh, you already did it for me. I just kind of wanted to point out what Daddy L said in these comments. He said Black people were just protesting the death of Black people, George Floyd, then sat down and celebrated the death of Black people. Things killing Native Americans. Do better, Black people. This one especially kind of, hit me in my face, because I was protesting the death of Black people, but then turned around yesterday and definitely So I definitely not feel attacked, but I understand how that's kind of what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Somebody help me. Like it kind of like sets, not necessarily sets me back, but like
Convicted, you feel convicted.
yeah, or like it kind of like defeated my purpose because what was I protesting out there for? Just to turn around and celebrate like murder. I don't know. That just make you think.
And a lot of times we don't know why we're celebrating what we're celebrating. All we know is that it's a tradition that we've done in our families for a long time, and we forget about what the day actually represents and what it actually means.
That's what education is so important, you know, in families. You know, I'm not talking about schooling and what you learn in school, because schools teach tradition. That's what public schoolings teach. They teach tradition. So that's why education within families and homes is so important. Education within self is so important. Like, you know, you can't. I don't know. A lot of times, people, you know, they'll see something, and oh my gosh, what's everybody calling me? Leave me alone. You'll see, they'll see something, and instead of going to do the research on it themselves, they'll just, you know, bypass it or not think anything of it, and still continue to stay stuck in their ways, where there's other people who will see something and be like, let me go see what that's about, and they're going to research it and figure it out, and it's either going to influence their mind and change their mindset, or it's not going to impact that at all, and they're just going to become more knowledgeable on the topic, but they don't give a damn. So that's just teaching the value and importance of educating families and educating self. That's why it's so important, because I feel like that with Juneteenth. You know, as a child, we celebrated Juneteenth for a week long. It was Sunday to Saturday, boom, bam, and that's how it should have been. We're celebrating our freedom, and it was very important to us as a culture. We had it was something different every single day, and then it shortened to 5 days, and then it shortened to 3 days, and then it shortened to 1 day. How are you going to give us a community and a culture of people who go overboard with everything that they do 1 day to celebrate their false freedom? Yeah, it's a false freedom, but it was still the day of recognition of us as people, as us as not being 1/5 of a person, you know. So to give us that 1 day and that 1 month to celebrate is foul. And you know, I think my family, we stopped celebrating Thanksgiving together as a whole, maybe like 2 years ago, like collectively, like my immediate family, my mom and my siblings. We don't, we don't say the happy Thanksgiving. And now, like, if I don't initiate it, if someone says it to me, then I'm okay, well, happy Thanksgiving, because I know you celebrate it and you don't know the education behind it. And I can either educate you on it, but I know how people think. Not everybody is ready for that education, and you can't educate somebody who's not ready to learn. You just can't. You're wasting your breath. But when you know that you're in a company with people who are willing and ready to learn, then that's when you take those steps to give them what it is, you know, and also educate yourself more on a topic. And I don't know, I just that's stuff like this is why I believe education is so important, because people don't know what they're celebrating. People don't know why they celebrate Thanksgiving. They just know it's a tradition. People don't know why they celebrate the 4th of July. It's the 4th of July. It's not even Independence Day. It's the 4th of July. We're celebrating the 4th of a month. People don't know why they're doing it. They just know fireworks happen, you barbecue, you get dressed. You know, that's how conditioned. It's so how conditioned the world has become. Everybody is so conditioned to doing the same thing all the time and don't even know or don't even care about the realness behind and the meaning behind those holidays. And I just, you know, right now I'm at a point where we have to push that education, but you can't educate people who are not willing and ready to learn.
Right. And then I think that's a good segue into this video, because it's just like a little short clip. There was something that some people that I know were doing, like this quote unquote Thanksgiving. Yes, Black people do love eating.
Love to eat.
But this is a perfect segue into like this challenge that was on Facebook called the Thanksgiving Challenge. And there was one that one of my sisters did that I was just like, oh, wow, this is tight. So let me go on my Facebook real quick. And
all the 12 tribes, how could you celebrate?
hold on.
This is going out to all the 12 tribes. How could you celebrate a day that cost your people their lives? Raped and murdered, burned on the stake, some even chopped into pieces. Now you sit down and cut a turkey with your uncles and nieces. Killed by the thousands, but they say it was a peaceful event. When all our people experienced was death and regret. How could you celebrate with those who hung out people in trees? That's what you're doing on Thanksgiving when you sit down and eat. They say the Plymouth colonists and natives had a feast, when all they really did was kill us like a savage beast. To make it worse, your money only helps to keep them rich, while you spending your last dollar can barely pay the rent. It's not Thanksgiving when killing is all it represents. The mass murder of our people this day ain't never said. So take this opportunity today to get it right. Stop and repent for your ways. It's gonna save your life. Thanksgiving ain't.
She bodied that.
I mean, let me first say that beat go crazy. Second, what she was saying was all facts, you feel me? And that could be a way that actually educates us, because, you know, we like song and dance, beats and rhythms. You feel me? We would pay attention to it a lot more. And that speaks to the education that G was talking about earlier. You feel me? It's all in what we educate our kids and how we educate them. But
absolutely,
for our workshop, because we talk a lot about that. We talk a lot. But Tabitha, what else y'all got to say about that? She bodied that though.
I thought it was dope, so that's why I said that.
Man, I just, you know, she first of all she bodied that, you know, she definitely bodied the beat in itself and with the message behind it. But I mean, you know, she just spoke truth and all of it. Like, you literally, when the holiday season comes around, you know, and I believe the holiday season starts with Halloween. You know, it's the holiday season. Got Halloween, and then it's just holiday after that. You feel me? All the way up until Valentine's Day, right? So people will break their backs and their necks and their wallets to make sure they have the most wonderful time of the year holiday. You know, that's the song. It's the most wonderful time, or however the song goes. I don't know holiday songs. I don't do that shit. But that people break their backs for it to make sure that they have the turkey, the ham, the stuffing, the yams, the greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, all of that. You know, you name it. They break their backs to make sure they have all of it. You know, you see stores and shelves becoming empty, and everybody, you know, breaking their backs, and then after Thanksgiving Day, right? You have today Black Friday. Now you see everybody. It's coronavirus this year, but you think of previous years, Black Friday for most stores start at midnight. So you see people when they get done with their Thanksgiving dinners, they're standing in line at retail stores so they can be the first people in line to shop for Black Friday, to break their backs and break their wallets to get Black Friday gifts. And usually people shop Black Friday for Christmas, right? You're getting all your Christmas gifts around Black Friday. That, you know, so you know, it all runs together. You're breaking your back, and here comes December. Now you want to put your Christmas tree up, and you want to make sure you have a beautiful Christmas tree and your lights and your presents, and you want to make sure you have the dopest outfit for Thanksgiving. You want to have a different outfit for Thanksgiving than you have for Christmas, right? So you got to have an outfit. You want your hair to be done. Our community break your back for something that is like, what are you celebrating? You're making these white retailers rich on the strength of you don't even know what the hell you're celebrating. And for what? You know, like I have a cousin, she posted on Facebook this year, she's not buying Christmas gifts, she's getting everybody stocks in and you know, financial literacy reports and stuff like that. Yes, that's the way to go. That's the way to go if you're going to give education to your family, generational wealth to your family. Why do you have 3 sons and why do all of them need a PS5? Why do you have to get your kids the newest Jordans that came out? Why do you have to wear the polo and I can't even think of shit right now, guys, help me out, Louis and Gucci? Why do you have to wear all the designers and stuff? Like I don't know, it blows my mind. People break their backs, and then you break your backs to buy this one outfit that you're gonna wear this one time for this to take a picture in it and post it on social media for people to say they liked it or not. Or I don't know, I wore this yesterday for Thanksgiving. I wore me a freaking reindeer onesie. I didn't break my back to buy outfits to post so that everybody could see me. I live in a completely different state. I'm not going to anybody's house for them to see me. I didn't even leave the house yesterday. I think I left and went to the store, and that's it. Walked my dog. So it just kills me. And I love that she spoke volumes in that video so much, because everything she was saying was just so true. Like, I don't know. Black people kill me. Black people kill me when it comes to the holidays, especially with the outfits. It's the outfits for me. It's the outfits for me. You have to get an outfit to match the holiday. Like, I'm one of those people where I'll get up and get dressed and get cute every single day of my life because I like to feel cute. That's just me. I like to get dressed. I'm going to get dressed and I'm going to go to the extreme all the way every day because that's just me and in my DNA, right? That's just who I am. I like to be cute. I'm not gonna set it limited to one holiday. So I don't know. Just Black people, we gotta do better. We just gotta do better. We can't keep glorifying these holidays and not taking the time out to learn the true meanings behind them. If you're gonna celebrate and educate yourselves and your children and your family on the true meaning of what that holiday is. That's my take on it.
Right. And that's the perfect segue into this next one, because we need to know what Black Friday even means and where that came from.
Wait, but before we do that, just something that G said, like we'll stand in lines and break our backs with these PS5s and all that, but we broke anytime somebody has a business idea or investing in a business.
But how many of y'all are buying LLCs? Y'all are here buying PS5s and shit. But how many of you have an LLC? You know, your LLC is gonna get you way further than that PS5. That PS5 is gonna overload and explode on you eventually. Anyways, that's what most of the original ones have already done. So you wasted your $500 anyway. You know, an LLC could be $150 while you could go and get 3 LLCs. Right. But you're getting PS5s. Y'all Black people kill me, but always want to scream about how invested you are and how you care so much about money, how money is so important, but yet you're spending it in all the wrong ways. You're not teaching generational wealth to your families, and you're allowing these generational curses to continue and go on. And it means you really don't give a damn about giving to your families. It's about the future generations. Y'all are shacking up and having babies with random men and random women and having multiple, but where's your money going to go? Your money needs to go to your children. Are your children going to be able to say, my dad left me an income, my mom left me an income, my parents taught me how to buy land and how to succeed and be financially wealthy in this life? Or you're going to say, I know how to dress. My drip game is cold. I got the tightest shoe game out. You feel me? My haircut is always fresh. I got all this gold on. Y'all kill me.
Okay, but let's get to this article, y'all. You made a lot of good points, and hopefully I'll have time to touch on it because it's the last thing I got. But does Black Friday originate from slave trading? Okay, I don't know what that was. It was the day after Thanksgiving when slave traders would sell slaves for a discount to assist plantation owners with more helpers for the upcoming winter, hence the name. Black Friday is the term of the phenomenon that takes place in the U.S. on the day after Thanksgiving Thursday. Then millions of consumers who get the day off from work or school crowd into stores for what is traditionally considered the beginning of the Christmas shopping season. In recent years, and it says a myth, but we know it's not a myth, was surfaced that gives a particular ugly twist to the tradition, claiming, is facts, that back in the 1800s, Southern plantation owners could buy slaves at a discount on the day after Thanksgiving. Though this version of Black Friday's root has understandably led some to call for a boycott of the retail holidays, there's no basis in the fact. That's not true. That's not true. We have historical records to say that this is fact, that we were sold for a discount price. How are they going to say that it's alleged and that there's no fact in it, but yet have a historical picture to say that it's actually something that actually happened? These people are phony, and I think us as a people, we just really need to do our research, because that's crazy.
That's what it boils down to. Knowledge is power. I think that's what they're afraid, most of us, gathering and understanding and getting on one accord, and then that one accord being to something that empowers us and uplifts us. That's what they fear most. You feel me? We circle our topics usually on educating each other. You feel me? Uh, and something other than dribbling a basketball or cooking dope and stuff, rap lyrics and stuff like that. We want to educate on weight. Like we should be educated in stocks. Especially, that's my one knock on the education system. I wish I would have learned stocks instead of the Pythagorean theorem. Like I say that multiple.
There goes his connection.
Yeah.
Stocks.
Mark, your connection is giving us.
But yes, I was a math head, so I love the Pythagorean theorem.
Me too.
And I love the quadratic equation. I like to figuring out how numbers work. And it's crazy that I didn't major in like chemistry or science or something like that, statistics or anything like that. But I don't know. I think math is kind of cool. And that's just
math. I do too. Yeah, but math, math correlates with the stocks and stuff. You have to understand math to understand the stocks, and so if they would correlate those things and teach us to us together, it'd be more beneficial for us. They just, I don't know, school system, they correlate things very weird and differently. But okay. I used to be big on the Black Friday. Let me tell y'all, my birthday is Monday, okay? So growing up, this time of the year was about me. It wasn't about Thanksgiving. It wasn't about anything. It was about me. We celebrated my birthday on Thanksgiving. We ate, did the traditional eating and all of that or whatever. The menu was catered to what I wanted to eat because it was my birthday. So, everybody had to just deal with it. It was something that was dealt with in my family. Jamari's birthday is around this time. The menu was catered to her. Black Friday, the shopping was catered to me. My birthday is Monday. I don't give a damn about Christmas coming up. My mom and dad, they got the Christmas gifts for everybody else, whatever. But my birthday, right, is directly after this. So growing up, I was big on all of that until I got educated. Okay, I was a child then. I got educated. I don't do it anymore. I don't even care for it anymore. I always thought Black Friday was going to be one of those things that I never gave up. One, because I'm a shopper. I love to shop. That's my sport. That's my hobby. That's my peace. That's my love. That's my joy. I love to shop. I do shop therapy. I'm always going to encourage somebody to shop. And so, I never, ever imagined me giving up Black Friday until I got educated and learned that, hold up. You mean to tell me Black Friday originates from when the slave masters used to sell my ancestors at a discount? So not only was it slave trade, but you're discounting my people?
Right.
You're gonna put a discount in price. Like, it's already enough that you already have a price on our head, right? It's already enough that there's already a price on the head. But then you're gonna discount them. How disrespectful can you be? It was so disrespectful to me. And when I got educated on that, I was cool on Black Friday in its entirety. Like, it's not a need. First of all, it's a lot of money that I already don't need to be spending, right? Like, discount or not, I heard this quote one time that said, you didn't say 50%, you spent 50%.
Right.
So.
G, not trying to cut you off, girl. You were getting into some really good points. I love when you go deep in it and you get passionate about it. But we reached our hour mark. Mark, if you want to close us out, sir.
Yes, indeed. So I just want to say first, thank you all for joining our podcast. A little brief overview is we initially started with this shop. And if you're going to shop, we say shop Black owned. But I was definitely educated today on some of the history on Black Friday. We have ICE exposed once again for unwilling procedures. Please look into that. Please don't let that movement die down. We have Black Native Americans. We are all intertwined. We have said this before. Had our Black Poetry by Maya Angelou. More to come on that. Please let us know if you guys enjoyed that segment. Then we had the actual history on Thanksgiving. We had our beautiful history Thanksgiving rap by Sarai's sister or Tabitha's sister. And then we had the history of Black Friday that once again educated me today. So we hope that what we touched on this podcast reached y'all's ears and y'all learned something from this, because that is the point of this. We are all for the Black empowerment, not for our destruction. But with that being said, please subscribe to our YouTube and all our social platforms. Be on the lookout for our podcast, our workshops. We accept children and youth, young adults, you feel me? And we pay y'all to come learn with us, you feel me? So
read Gadiel's comments if you haven't, y'all. He gives me laughs. We appreciate Gadiel for always tuning in.
Exactly, loyal viewer, we appreciate it. But yes, with that being said, much love, and y'all Mac 'em out there.
Mac 'em out there. See y'all Monday.
Bye.
See y'all.